Mark has called from Hitchin. Hello, Mark.
Yeah, hello, Sheila. Sheila, you've just been talking about this new wonderful Labour policy, deport first, appeal later. Doesn't that sound a great law? Doesn't it sound like it's going to work brilliantly? Unfortunately, it's already failed. And the reason it's already failed is because it was introduced, the deport first, appeal later, by the Conservatives in 2014 in their immigration bill. And in 2017, the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom deemed it unlawful based on English law principles because it was unfair because you didn't have proper access to justice. So what the hell are Labour doing? This is a regurgitated policy which our Supreme Court has ruled unlawful. It's farcical.
And it is only one part of what Natasha was describing, just to be clear.
Well, yes, but I think the biggest problem that we have here, and it links into your last hour, you're seeing a Labour government that are heavily looking, to me, to be extremely right-wing and to ignore the rule of law. Earlier this year, Yvette Cooper went to the Court of Appeal to appeal against protest laws that the High Court had ruled unlawful. They were laws brought in by Shelagh Braverman, which Yvette Cooper, wait for it, argued at the time with Shelagh Braverman were not fair. And then she went and defended them. Now, I measure people by what they do, not what they say. And as you can see, Yvette Cooper, not with just that, look at what she's done with prescribed organisations for a protest group. What you've got to ask, who's next? Is it going to be the Women's Institute? Who knows? And then this whole government just seems to have gone right-wing, and there's many people like me who did not vote for a right-wing Labour government.
Well, on Palestine action, I mean, I'm strongly of the view that we'll hear more from the government on that because, Mark, if Yvette Cooper were here, she would push back strongly against you describing it as a mere protest group.
Well, I would openly retract that because they've used the national security interest. As you quite rightly said earlier, share it with us. We're adults. Let's make sure you're not becoming a totalitarian.
Yeah, share it with us to the degree that you don't endanger lives or operational things, but you can't always hide behind it's operational.
No, absolutely. Yeah. We're adults enough to make this up because it could be the thin edge of a wedge, and we need to know that we can trust this government. Unfortunately, all that Labour has done is proved it's untrustworthy, bringing in policies it never put in its manifesto, supporting protest laws in opposition it said it wouldn't actually agree to, and now trying to introduce a law that our Supreme Court, based on English law principles...
Can I ask you, Mark, though, what if, you say it's all you can see is a Labour government that's extremely right-wing, what if the government is merely, it's no small matter, it is trying to respond to a population that is moving to, just to use our clumsy descriptions of things, to the right on various matters, not least immigration?
Well, and I think that's what you've got to...
But isn't that a government responding to people rather than letting them down?
Well, what the government should be doing, it should be pushing back, because much of the right-wing
pushing back on what?
Rhetoric, much of the right-wing rhetoric that we hear from people like former LBC presenter Mr. Farage, who I called out lying on his own show, much of that, if you question it, it falls apart. But people... They hear a soundbite and they believe it to be the truth because they think the people who are saying it are telling them the truth. When you challenge those people saying it, their whole thing falls apart. What the government should be doing, we voted for a socialist government. Why haven't we got some socialist policies?
Oh, you didn't, Mark. Mark, you didn't. Did you vote Labour? Sorry, just to be clear.
I did.
Oh, well, come on. You knew when you put X next to whatever name you put next to that you were not voting for a socialist government.
Oh, no, hang on. It's a socialist party by its very name.
I know, but it's not. I know, but
where did it say it was going to curb my right to protest?
No, I hear you, but you know that Keir Starmer's not a full-blooded socialist, don't you? And the party in government can't afford to be.
Well, they can afford to be because they've got a massive whacking majority. They have 4 years to prove that a different way can work. We had 14 years of conservatism, which didn't work, made the rich richer, the poor poorer. When what's the definition of insanity? Do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. What we have got today is we have got the Labour Party trying to out-Tory the Tories and out-reform reform.
What should they do instead? Describe to me.
Well, I voted for a socialist government. You know, I come from a socialist family. My father was a socialist town councillor. I understand the principles of socialism. I understand you have, like, Lisa and Andy come on to the radio saying, we need to make the economy pie bigger. The pie is already big enough. It's just not being cut fairly. That's what socialism is all about. They have been given the power to make those changes. They're refusing. And you need to ask yourself, why? What is stopping a socialist government enacting socialist policy?
I don't think it's as simple. I understand what you're saying about distribution of wealth, but I don't think it's as simple as the pie is big enough. In large part, not exclusively, but in large part because of our ageing population.
Well, absolutely. But like I said, I think you'll find a lot of economists will agree the pie is big enough. It's how it's being cut up. And again, what did the Labour government did? It went and attacked grandma and granddad and took away their heated allowance. They've attacked the sick and the elderly, or not the elderly so much, but maybe the disabled. That's not a socialist government. That's as right as you can get, in my mind. And I'm sorry, I'm sure there's lots of people like me who are moving away from Labour because they thought they were voting for one thing. Their manifesto, they're doing totally different things from what their manifesto says and things they didn't even say.
Is this issue, so the way they're clearly trying to respond to concerns over immigration, over the levels of deportation and the challenging of deportations and the like, is that the biggest disappointment for you, or where else do you say they have failed to be the socialist government that you wanted them to be?
I'll try and sum that up. They're worse than the Tories. That's how bad I think it's got. You know, Yvette Cooper trying to support protest law that she said she adamantly would not support. That's not what I expect to see. A human rights lawyer who's now trying to reintroduce a law that the Supreme Court has deemed unlawful in 2017. Not even the Conservatives tried any of those tricks, which is why that's why I've just made the claim on those levels, they're potentially worse than the Tories.
Are you looking at the Corbyn Party?
No, I'll be honest. What I think what should happen within the Labour Party, I think they ought to remember what their roots are. You know, they keep on saying they are the party for work. No, they were people who were put together to represent the workers. They're trying to spin the workers' part to attract, let's be honest, probably red Tories if they can. But the reality is, we voted for a socialist government. What we got was not more of the same. In some cases, we got worse than the Conservatives.
Right. You're not happy at all, are you, Mark?
Not at all.
Okay. Well, thank you for your call from Hitchin.